Yo, what is up, everybody? Watt007 here, back at it again with a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. And today we're going to be taking a look at an exclusive interview with the senior producer of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, Kenichi Kataoka. By the way, sorry if I mispronounced your name, homie. You're never going to watch this video, but I'm sorry that I did if I did. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at this article from 4Gamer that had the chance to interview him. There was a lot of awesome questions that were asked in this interview, like the creation of Master Duel, what kind of led through the development process for it. And they also kind of talked about some cool things like kind of upcoming updates for the game, like talking about best of 3 format, forbidden and limited list, and all sorts of cool stuff that I wanted to take a look at in today's video. So without further ado, let's go hop into it. And if you guys are excited, smash the dang like button on the video down below. But let's get into it. Okay, so I'm on the 4Gamer article right here, and if any of the translations seem a little weird, that's because we're using good old Google Translate, baby. But it seemed to do a pretty decent job at it. So we're gonna go take a look at this interview and just kind of see what's popping, because again, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. So basically, 4Gamer reached out to Kenichi Kataoka by email, and they kind of asked some of the questions like, how did the game launch? How did the concept was born? How did this unique system work, and future developments for the game? And the first thing they kind of talked about right here was the origins of Master Duel right here. So the project officially started in spring of 2019, so about 2.5 years ago. And prior to that, the study of the project proceeded immediately after the launch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So basically, after Duel Links launched, you know, globally and everything like that, they started doing some research on making a game for just Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. And 4Gamer also kind of asked about, you know, why are you guys making a new title besides Duel Links? Because besides, Duel Links makes a lot of quiche, bro. Like, Duel Links did really well as a mobile game. And Kataoka said right here, Duel Links was created as a game that could be easily played on mobile phones with the aim of increasing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Popularity and, you know, get more Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans. And then from there, they thought that they needed a game that would further stepped up, you know, by duelists around the world. And that's why they created Master Duel. Basically, they just needed a better version of Duel Links by actually making a proper TCG game right here, which makes a lot of sense because yeah, Duel Links first came out on iOS and Android, that's it, and then like a year later it released on Steam. But Duel Links is a mobile game, bro. The duels are very fast paced. It's a 4,000 life point start, and yeah, you just want to quickly go through the duels and whatnot. So obviously they knew that there was still a market for the mobile side of things, but they also knew that they still needed to cater to, you know, the people that actually play the OCG and TCG. So that's why they eventually made Master Duel. And bro, Master Duel's been popping off already, so people love these Yu-Gi-Oh! Mobile games, man, which is just insane. But no, Duel Links is still really good for what it was. And another interesting thing here too is the fact that like with the creation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links right here, where they made it very easy to play on mobile phones and whatnot and try to increase the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, you can kind of tell that was the original objective with Duel Links. Because when Duel Links first came out, bro, the game's format was Oonga Boonga to the max. Like, there was no synchro summoning, Xyz summoning, pendulum summoning, none of that, bro. It was your run-of-the-mill Blue Eyes deck, your run-of-the-mill Dark Magician deck, and literally the first meta in Duel Links was beat down dinos, because there's a skill in the game that can give your dinos 300 attack points. So you had just 1900 beat sticks, and you also had a Oonga Boonga like C deck that you can just spam out Leviathan, nuke the board, and then OTK. Like, bro, Duel Links back in the day, Oonga Boonga to the max. It was very fast paced, very quick, and it was just a lot of fun, but it still wasn't like mechanically advanced whatsoever. It just was not. But as Duel Links went on, the format like evolved to what it is now, and like the game is just way different than it was before. And you can tell that they shifted the game more to kind of catering towards the actual player base itself to make Duel Links its own thing instead of just a way to easily cheese out Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon fans of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, which is really cool. And then the next question that 4Gamer kind of talked about was the concept Master Duel. How did that happen, and how did the title and everything like that got set up? So kind of one of the things that they kind of talked about right here, and Kataoka kind of mentions this in like the trailer video that came out for Master Duel to get the hype going. They kind of mentions that this is going to be a game both for enjoyment of your opponents and spectators. This concept has been unwavering since the launch of the project, which is why you can kind of tell that, dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, it's a beautiful game. Like, this game looks amazing, bro, and it just beats any other competition out there. Like, you cannot deny how good this game looks comparatively to the other simulators out there for playing TCG, and it just looks beautiful, bro. It's insane. And then 4Gamer kind of asked about like, what do you guys have a hard time developing with? It looks like one of the things that they had some difficulties with is multi-platform play, which I can understand. It's actually insane on how well they made multi-platform play be able to get played on any console, any mobile device, any computer. Like, that was a huge step that is going to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel super successful. Because one of the things that like killed another game that you guys may or may not know of, Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution, like that game released on all sorts of different platforms, but the problem was it didn't have any cross compatibility. There is like no people playing that game simply for the fact that you can't play Duelist from other platforms. So the fact that they incorporated this into Master Duel is a huge W, which is awesome. And another thing that was really interesting too is that Kyoto says right here that like having experience with helping with developing Duel Links and whatnot, they didn't have much trouble with, you know, getting that to work on multiple platforms. Because again, Duel Links was its own format. It was only on mobile phones and on PC. They didn't have to worry about having it on console and everything like that. But another thing too, to make this game multi-platform play was also the fact of being able to play this game worldwide and whatnot, uniting kind of the OCG and TCG. He kind of explains right here that there's a little bit of difficulties with sharing different accounts on other platforms, having different rules, you know, because right now in Master Duel, we only have one set format. We just have standard format, which has a mix of cards that are banned in the TCG and OCG, but are, you know, vice versa now. Because again, Max C, playable at 3 in Master Duel, but banned in the TCG. So easiest example I could say right here. And that's another thing that they're having difficulties with. And that's going to be a very difficult thing that they're going to have to deal with as time goes on. And I have a feeling that Master Duel is going to evolve like Duel Links to where it's going to have its own custom format as time goes on, depending on how quickly they release new cards, how quickly they ban cards. Like, they're probably going to make its own custom ban list, which is really interesting. Another question for Gamer asked, when it came to development for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, what worked out better than expected? And Kyoto has to mention about the solo mode here. It looks like right here that solo mode wasn't even a consideration when developing Master Duel. And you can kind of tell too, because solo mode is kind of its like own side thing that you just kind of just do to get gems and whatnot in Master Duel. That's literally it. I'm really glad though they added the lore and whatnot with Master Duel. It's awesome. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is just, you know, grinding for gems and whatnot. But yeah, no, they weren't expecting to make a solo mode right here. They're developing the game for just core duelists, specializing in battles. But the team suggested to have a solo mode because, hey, sometimes you just don't want to duel other players, man. And it's a good way to test your deck against NPCs. It's just going into solo mode, you know what I'm saying? So thanks to the fact that the OCG production team wanted to help out with this project, that's why we have the juicy lore that we have for Master Duel. And again, this is one of my favorite things about Master Duel. It's one of those underrated things, but like the artwork and the lore is just super cool. So I'm very glad about it. Too bad all it is just a little gem simulator, baby, but hey, it is awesome. Oh, dude, the next question right here. What kind of story do you plan to add in the future consisting Yu-Gi-Oh! Illustrations? I'm wondering if there's a story that'll be released for the first time in this work, which is not listed in a book or master guide. Unfortunately, though, Kyoto's like, nah, dude, can't tell you, but hey, it's gonna be a thing. And again, I can't wait to see how the lore goes on and whatnot. Dude, make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel anime that's just different from the core Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows. Make a awesome spin-off anime. I would love that, bro. I want Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore as an anime, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my boy Yusei. I love my boy Jaden. I love my boy Yugi. The other protagonists from the other shows have their perks too. But like, you know, I think it'd be just really cool to have it like lore only from the cards themselves as a show, dude. That'd be so cool. One of the next questions that they also ask right here is how many packs of the OCG are concluded, or will it be an original card pool like Duel Links? Kyoto replies with, since the original card pool of Master Duel is difficult to tell by giving a concrete example to this pack in the OCG. However, since we have installed more than 10,000 types of card, I think that it is a card pool that will satisfy many Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, which, trust me, it will. But I'm really hoping they don't make the mistake of having this really far behind to the TCG and OCG. I really hope they don't, because they're not that far behind. They're like about 3-4 sets behind, but like they can easily, like that can easily change to like being like, you know, 8 sets behind if like they just don't add anything. Luckily, we have some leaks. I talked about that in one of my previous videos on some cards that are already leaked for some upcoming events. So I think they'll do just a fine job being able to catch up with it. But yeah, in order for this game to compete with those simulators, they really need to keep this game as updated as possible, because so many people love this game right now. But in order to keep their player base, you need to add new content. That's just how these free-to-play games are. So again, I'm kind of worried about how he's describing this, where he's like, it's fine, bro. 10,000 cards are more than enough, which it is. But trust me, the average Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan that's like hardcore into the game, they're going to want some new shit. That is for sure. Just want to ask right here, will the limit regulation be unified with the Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm going to guess TCG, since, you know, they're talking about, you know, being unified. I'm going to guess this question is just like, hey, is the TCG and OCG going to have a unified list? And then Kato has to say, since it will be a game in which duelists from all over the world will play against each other, it will be an original limit regulation of this work, which is neither TCG or OCG. For details, please actually play the game and check it. Kato's like, bro, just play the dang game, forehead. But yeah, no, that is interesting right here. And as time goes on, this ban list is going to be completely different from TCG and OCG, which is really cool because, again, there's just so many different ways to play this game, and you're gonna have just like basically 3 different ways to play it essentially. But I also hope though that as time goes on, they add features in the game where you can play ban lists from the TCG and OCG in like duel rooms and whatnot. Like, I think the official like PvP playlist should have its own custom ban list in Master Duel, but I really hope as time goes on that like in duel rooms you can set up to where you can have TCG ban lists, OCG ban lists, so that you can play those formats in this game and be able to practice those formats, you know, before you play, you know, the game physically. I think that'd be really cool. One of the next questions that 4Gamer asked Kyoto right here is it okay to recognize that the battle rules to be implemented are Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG compliant? Just kind of, you know, saying like, hey, does Master Duel play the same as Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG? And they also mentioned too that the OCG also has different ways of playing the game outside of single battles, but is that going to be a thing in Master Duel? Basically asking, hey, is best of 3 going to be a thing in Master Duel also? Kyoto for now kind of just like brushes it off, kind of saying like, hey, the battle rules are just set to be played as if you're playing the OCG or TCG Master Rules, but are based in the single battles format. So no side decking or nothing like that. But he mentioned right here that he hasn't talked about other rules yet at this time, which is hinting towards the fact that, hey, best of 3 format, that could be a thing. And he also says, hey, for now, hope you enjoyed the single match format, which I kind of don't blame, because with the game just coming out, you want to test the waters of the game too. So you don't want to, like, you know, have the best of 3 tournament, sweaty, try hard format yet. People like that, and I want to play that too, but not everybody really cares about that tournament style play. And a lot of people only have the time to just do single matches and call it a day. Because, like, hey, a good amount of people don't even know what the heck a side deck was. When I used to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! DS games, they had options to do side decks and stuff like that, and I did not even know what the heck that was. Like, as a kid, I was like, what the heck's a side deck, bro? So I don't blame them for focusing on single battles, but I think with tournaments being an official thing in Master Duel, I do think that they are going to have best of 3 format, which will make a lot of sense. Because, again, people really like playing that type of format, and there's a lot of cards in the game that simply work better as long as you know what your opponent's going to be playing. So some of these other hand traps that are very popular in play in the TCG and OCG are only used in side decking, so that you're going to be able to kind of counter your opponents and have somewhat of a winning chance and not be completely lopsided when it comes to the duel. And it just adds a new layer of play. So I really hope that they do add best of 3 format, but I think like PvP should just be single battle format, and I think official tournaments, and I hope they give the option in duel room to have the ability to have best of 3, but we'll see how it goes as time goes on. And then so 4Gamer kind of does a follow-up question kind of explaining that there is going to be tournaments with unusual regulations. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And Kyoto just simply says he doesn't have the opportunity to kind of tell you yet. He's not going to really explain that, but he does want to have a lot of different ways of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in these tournaments in all sorts of different kinds of way. And that is already the case. There is some leaks already for Synchro, Xyz, and Fusion tournaments where you can only play extra deck cards from that specific, you know, extra deck summoning mechanic. So if you go into the Fusion tournament, you can only use Fusion extra deck monsters, which will definitely change the game a lot if you really think about it, because there's going to be certain ways to play the game that you just can't do anymore, which is going to be extremely interesting. So we'll have to wait and see what else they also have in mind besides just those ways, but he's obviously hinting towards those upcoming events. And then 4Gamer kind of asked right here, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel going to be part of the World Championship? Which one? And how will it kind of make itself different from, you know, the OCG, TCG, and all sorts of stuff like that? And then Kyoto just kind of one of those questions where he kind of just has to brush it off, where he says like, hey, I do want, you know, Master Duel to be also a part of the World Championship. I mean, Duel Links is already part of the World Championship, so why can't Master Duel? But, you know, right now he can't go into detail on explaining how it's going to work, but I genuinely think they're just going to have a separate bracket for Master Duel. He wants this to be like a proper esports, so I think Master Duel, as time goes on, it's going to have its own custom ban list, own custom rules and whatnot. It's going to play it, you know, alongside of the official tournaments and whatnot. So in the World Championship, you're going to have the OCG, TCG battle it out physical card game You're gonna have your Dragon Duels, and then you're gonna have your Duel Links tournament, and then on top of that too, you're gonna have now Master Duel. So you're gonna have 4 different things, which is really exciting. This question cracks me up. So 4Gamer kind of targets the whole gacha mindset when it comes to playing these games and whatnot. Digital card games can tend to be gacha battles where you have to spend a lot of cash in order to play competitively and whatnot. Kato responds with, it is true that in Duel Links you can casually enjoy and play PvE events, and then PvP events you can, you know, play to the best of your ability in KC Cup. So there's 2 separate things. So Kato kind of wants to replicate that in Master Duel, where there'll be, you know, events in PvP, but there's also going to be different ways of playing PvP as time goes on. So yeah, he's just wanting to just kind of take advantage of that, which is really cool. But I don't know, bro. As long as they keep it the same, where you can just keep making new accounts and, you know, go along with their day, the free-to-play players will be fine. It's all good. I'm really hoping they don't limit the access of being able to, you know, get secret packs and whatnot when new cards come out. Hopefully they don't really like ruin that, because it again, it's really nice. You can just make a new account and play the new decks right away. It's amazing. But, you know, we'll see how that goes as time goes on. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new PvP events. I'd love some new stuff to do in Master Duel, that's for sure. And then 4Gamer kind of asked, you know, final question right here. Do you have a message for the readers and Duelists? And Kyoto simply says right here, the long-awaited game of Duelists from all over the world is completed, where you can fight with Master Rules anywhere you like, whether at home or outside. Take advantage of a huge card pool and enjoy the fun of building your own deck and interacting with duelists from around the world through duels using your proud deck. Master Duel will continue to evolve as the strongest battle tool for duelists around the world, so please look forward to that, which is very exciting. And I'm hoping that this game lasts a while, bro, because the Renaissance of Yu-Gi-Oh is here and this game is amazing. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of it when it comes to this interview right here. Just a lot of cool things for Master Duel, and I do have faith in Konami for making Master Duel one of the best games that they can make, because of the fact that they have carried Duel Links for multiple years, and that game has continued to do well over the years. And I think Master Duel is going to do the same thing. But at the same time, I am worried about a few things here and there, like being able to release proper updates, informing the community, and so on and so forth, because they can be pretty slow at doing that. But again, I really hope that they continue to do well with this game, because Master Duel is an absolute blast, and it's really nice to like actually know the TCG more than before, where I was just only a Duel Links person. But yeah, a lot of cool things. I can't wait for new updates for this game, new cards, new formats to play, and new ban lists. I'm looking forward to all that stuff. Hope you guys are too. Leave a like on today's video, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content like this. Other than that, it's gonna do it for me and my video. Have a good one, everybody.